Well, a troubling sign on Bay Area beaches. Another whale washing ashore, this time in Pacifica on Lindemar Beach. In the past 4 months, a dozen dead whales have washed up on Bay Area shores.
We're rocking and rolling up here.
A longtime Tahoe dweller, Lynn Thompson, shaken by a morning earthquake.
This summer, I have felt 2 of the strongest that I've ever felt.
The most recent quake was part of a sequence that started late last month. Well, this area has seen a number of earthquakes over the last month.
Also new at 11, 3 more dead whales popping up in San Francisco Bay. The Marine Mammal Center confirming the recent discoveries in a news release this morning. Now, it says that the whales are believed to have washed ashore between April 27th and May 4th in Tiburon, the Port of Oakland, and Angel Island State Park. Now, due to the locations, the mammals being inaccessible and unsafe, the center says they have not determined their cause of death. NBC Bay Area's investigative unit, they've been tracking the cause of all of these dead whales popping up in the San Francisco Bay.
We begin with breaking news in the Lake Tahoe area. A series of earthquakes that caught a lot of people's attention tonight. The largest of the quakes, a 4.7 magnitude.
And heard really loud kind of like movement and could tell the walls. It felt like the walls were going to fall in. And the lamp started shaking. Dogs started barking. Felt like it lasted a minute. It was probably only about 15 seconds, but it was the strongest earthquake I've ever felt.
She's not the only one who felt it. Lots of people felt it, not just in the Tahoe region. The quake was widely felt. People reported feeling it even here in the Bay Area.
Actually, 3 earthquakes near Independence Lake. That's about 10 to 12 miles north of Truckee.
Right here north of Truckee. Now, doing some research on the faults in the area, we did see the largest, closest fault to all of this activity is called the Polaris Fault. And here's the real interesting thing about this. It was discovered in 2011, so this is definitely a fault to pay attention to. Now, this did get me thinking, of course, about the Bay Area. Did some tracking here. 5 earthquakes the past 24 hours, but again, much smaller, 1.1 to a 2.4.
And you know what? Some shaking up there in Tahoe today, rattled by a quake this morning. And it was felt all the way down here in the valley and in Sacramento. A magnitude 4.2 quake hit right in the middle of the lake.
It was followed by several aftershocks, too. It even interrupted a meeting of the Nevada State Legislature, shaking the plexiglass that was right in front of a speaker.
Clearly going up in price, and I'm going to speed up my presentation.
We saw ripples on the lake afterwards as well, like, little whip ripples. There were no boats.
He says the major faults under Tahoe are likely more than 1,000 years overdue to rupture.
Tracking that 3.6 earthquake that woke a lot of people up in the South Bay early this morning. Take a look at this map. This is where the epicenter was when the shaking started.
A quick reminder that a lot of people, the most common fault that they know about is the San Andreas Fault. However, this one happened on the Calaveras Fault. So for those of you who are new to the Bay Area or maybe don't know, we actually have 6 significant fault zones.
But we did talk to a number of people who did feel it. Here's what they had to say.
Well, I was, it woke me up, so it was just a shake, and then I didn't know, what it was. I didn't know something fell in the house, but then there was that second shake, and I was like, okay, that was definitely an earthquake.
Yeah, it was too scary because I see everything move. For like 10 seconds, everything move. They're a little bit scary, yeah.
3.6 is respectable. I mean, that's like a decent wake-up call.
Yeah, you'd certainly expect to feel some shaking in the area, so stay tuned.
NBC Bay Area's Robert Honda spent the day asking the experts what they think is happening and how we can change it.
Well, human activity is back to normal here at Lindemar Beach, but now many people want to see some changes in how we deal with all the Bay Area whale activity. Since the 12th dead whale found in the Bay Area this year, a 47-foot gray whale, washed up Friday and was removed Sunday.
An endangered fin whale that just washed ashore at Fort Funston is the 5th whale dead in or around the bay in just the past month.
It says the most recent whale was too decomposed to get any clues about a cause of death, meaning 8 of the 12 recent Bay Area cases have not been resolved. Center biologist Bill Keener says the whales are turning up in the Bay Area looking for food.
The speculation is that climate change could be affecting the food resources in the Arctic. Like there's less sea ice in the winter that could be having effects on the food web.
The sheer number of whale deaths in such a short period of time does have scientists concerned. He says whales have only recently been coming into the bay itself, sometimes staying for weeks and actually feeding here, which never used to happen.
This is something brand new in the last decade.
Dozens of birds are being found stunned, confused, or dead near the World Trade Center Memorial. And bird advocates say a glass railing might be to blame.
The New York City Audubon Society says this happens most during the spring and fall migration period. In the World Trade Center area, more than 1,200 stunned or dead birds were found in the fall.
Migrating birds are colliding into tall buildings and dying in huge numbers.
Paul, if you could just text me and let me know if that asteroid is likely planned on hitting somewhere near First and Lafayette. If so, we need to get right with the Lord.
We're going to move on out of that mysterious close encounter.
We're learning more details about last week's mysterious close encounter near the International Space Station. An unidentified object was caught on camera flying past the SpaceX rocket just minutes after liftoff.
This morning, a potential close call caught on camera. A mysterious object captured on tape flying very close to the SpaceX Crew Dragon just 12 minutes after the astronauts left planet Earth Friday morning. Part of the Falcon 9 rocket separates from the Dragon. That's when some kind of object flies between the two. Take a closer look in slow motion.
We've got some truly incredible pictures of the first supermoon of 2021.
Look, the moon is not giving us normal service, it's giving us super service at the moment. There's a supermoon in view, so it looks larger and brighter than it would normally. This phenomenon is giving us pictures from all around the world at the moment, so let's just have a look at a few of those. This is a few hours ago.
The pink supermoon lit up the skies around the world last night.
But is there anything we can do now to protect our planet? Well, actually, there is. An asteroid will hit Earth again someday, so this week's NASA's Planetary Defense Coordination Office, yes, there is such a thing, will conduct a tabletop exercise of how they will handle an approaching asteroid. Today, an asteroid will be quote-unquote discovered with a potential October impact. Each day this week, additional information will be determined and decisions made. It will be a true simulation of a real-time potential asteroid impact scenario, Rhonda.
This is crazy. This high likelihood of an asteroid hitting Earth. I mean, can we pull an Armageddon and save ourselves?
Well, we are actually going to find out soon, because later this year, NASA is going to launch a project called DART, which stands for Double Asteroid Redirection Test, and that's going to impact the asteroid Dimorphos in the fall of 2022, and that's with the intention of changing its orbit in space. And let's hope it works, because that would be our one chance to save ourselves if one of those things is coming toward us.
Wow.
How? Did you understand all that?
Of course I did, especially
Right.
the asteroid Dimorphos.
Yes, exactly.
Dimorphos.
Paul, if you could just text me and let me know if that asteroid is likely planned on hitting somewhere near First and Lafayette. If so, we need to get right with the Lord.
Tonight, more questions and answers about what appeared to be an upside-down pyramid flying over a Navy destroyer off the coast of California. For years, the U.S. military has encountered mysterious objects that seem capable of traveling more than 11,000 miles an hour or able to transition from air to water without slowing down.
Some of these videos are 20, 25 minutes long. In other cases, these things are 50 feet away from the cockpit.
But he says most alarming are incursions over restricted nuclear assets.
We've actually had some of our nuclear capabilities disabled by these things.
Now, this entire subject, frankly, makes some people very uncomfortable. It challenges everything we think we know, And for others, it's incredibly exhilarating to entertain the endless possibilities of what might be going on.
Now, I was saying back then to you, and we were discussing, the new question was going to be, are they visiting here? And here we are, 10 years later from our first interview, and that's precisely where we're at.
Let me show,
incredible.
Some of these things, Jeremy, are doing things that high-level military people say are otherworldly. What in the world is that? They could not explain it.
The laugh factor is going away because we are having direct contact and interactions, our military is, as well as there's an increase in uptick in sightings and in mass sightings. UFOs have been part of human experience since the beginning of recorded human history. If there was a hostile intent, I'm thinking we probably know about it by now. It seems more like a performance, like a dance, like a I see you, you see me.
Have any targets up here? We just had something go right over the top of us that, I hate to say this, looked like a long cylindrical object that almost looked like a cruise missile type of thing moving really fast that went right over the top of us.
Now that was the American airline pilot encounter, but when the pilots encounter this stuff, far from dismissing it, they are just, as aeronautical folks, they look at it and say, that is amazing. What is that? And you get a lot of that in some of these descriptions. And we're not saying aliens are visiting. We're just saying there is stuff out there that credible people, Defense Department people, Navy pilots, commercial pilots are seeing that simply at this point cannot be explained.
That's not our LNS though, is it? It's not. That is the LNS, dude. Well, if there's like anything, it's rotating.
And that's the one that dives into the ocean.
Roger, that's troubleshooting.
These guys have no idea what they're looking at.
Right. So let me clarify. This is really important what you're looking at, right? I got goosebumps, John.